Jared, all over the shop.
All right.
So what we're going to do, just focus, OK?
All right.
Focus.
Let's launch into our agenda, and it starts with our exclusive access to the finals coaches throughout these 2 weeks. Melbourne will mount its premiership defence from second as they look to repeat the deeds of last September.
This is the reigning Premier making a bit of a statement. This is going to be sending shockwaves around the whole comp.
Exhilarating, powerful, all conquering the demons.
Petrarca the dribbler, and it bounces over the defender's head. They just cannot do anything wrong.
There's some nervousness going through the rest of the competition given what we're seeing here from Melbourne.
Neil Bullen, Gozzy Pickett, French, vintage Melbourne. Gee, they look good when they play this sort of footy.
That's as convincing as they've been since we were talking about them in the fashion we were around 10, when they were 10-0. I think they're back now.
Melbourne's best is still the best, and tonight I think we saw just how devastating they are.
So a late season warning reverberates around the AFL, and it's come from the reigning Premier.
So Friday night next week, Melbourne and the Sydney Swans, both coaches coming up, beginning with Simon Goodwin, the reigning premiership coach. Simon, great to have you back on 360.
Yeah, evening Jared, evening Robbo, good to be on.
Nothing's come easy since halfway, so I'm curious, was it a momentous moment to nail down second?
Yeah, look, it was. I think it's, every club sets out to set themselves up in the best opportunity possible and give yourself the best platform to drive success and obviously to finish where we finish. We get a home final in the top four and, it is a great position to be in as a footy club. And we think in the last 6 weeks we've been able to build in terms of how we've played and the way we've gone about our footy to really now start to look forward to challenge throughout the final series. Is it significant that no matter the fall of the results, your finals are at the MCG? Oh, I think it's absolutely brilliant for our supporters. They've been starved of, finals footy for a couple of years now, and to have their team back at the MCG where, it's our home and where we love playing, it's great to establish ourselves there. And we know the challenge that we have in front of us, and no bigger challenge than the Swans next Friday night.
We had Chris got on last night, and Jared, I thought, asked a brilliant question about does Chris go into finals mode coaching? And I want to ask you, Goody, now that the home and away season's done, do you go into a different mode or is it still the same Simon Goodwin and the same message week after week?
Oh, look, it's very similar, Robbo. We've been building this process internally over 3 or 4 years now about how we operate in big moments and big games. And the real consistency about how we go about it is to make sure we've got clarity in what we're doing and clarity within our roles. So nothing should really change internally. We know the stakes are higher. There's no question about that. The players understand the stakes are higher. But internally, you've got to be really clear on what's expected from your team, individually from within your role. That's not only from the players, that's from coaches and that's from all the staff. And that's how you have success in the big games and the big moments.
It's really interesting because predictability, people can say, oh, that goes against them because we know what we're doing. But the predictability from your team, they all know what they're doing. So that's good. But you've played enough football and seen enough finals and coached enough finals to know that it can change with one injury. So how prepared are you with your contingency plans and how much have you worked on them in, say, the second half of the year?
Yeah, we've had to work on a number of different things throughout the season. We didn't have Christian Salem for the first 13 weeks of the season, so Angus Brayshaw moved back. He's now moved back into the midfield. We haven't had Tom McDonald and a tall forward line for a number of weeks now. So Jake Belcham's been able to come into the team and impact the team in that sense. We went a week without 2 ruckmen. So we've been able to build these contingencies throughout the year, and obviously some of these things might bob up throughout the final series. Tom McDonald looks like he's going to be back available for us at some stage in the next few weeks, so that gives us another chance to look at something different again. Have you lightened the load on Clayton Oliver just during this bye week? Yeah, we have. He's had a pretty big load, and we've been really clear with our group about building that cohesion with our playing group and playing as much footy as we can. And this gives us a great opportunity this week to certainly lighten his load. He's carried a big load throughout the year, and a little freshen up over the next 4 or 5 days. We're doing well, and we'll set him up with a really good week of training next week.
I know you want to put the Harrison Petty situation behind you there, Goody, but the players, some of your leaders spoke today at a bit of an open training session. They're all adults and they've all got their their views on it. In the past 24, 48 hours, are you still happy with how it's been handled? And first of all, how's Harrison? That's really, really important, probably the most important. But does more have to be done, or is this a case for the players must have their own code of conduct?
Yeah, I think it's one for the players, but I think, that first and foremost, Harrison's fine. He's been able to move through it over the weekend. He's come into the club today with a smile on his face. But I thought that both clubs handled it brilliantly. Between Alan Richardson and Danny Daly from Brisbane, it started there, and then there was obviously a lot of remorse on the Brisbane side of things, and then apologies that came forward. And I think sometimes things get said on field, and in this case, it probably went a bit over the top. But thankfully, the players been able to have this discussion, accept each other's apology, and keep moving forward. And the main person in this is Harrison, and he's been able to work his way through it, and he's in a good spot today.
Is there a line, Goodwin? Do you talk to your players about crossing the line? Because the stories are coming out that your boys weren't exactly shrinking violets in the heat of that contest. Is there a line that you speak to your players about?
I can't comment on what was said out in the ground on Friday night, but I think there is a line, and I think, as a playing group, this is a great reminder, for us internally as much as anything, as well as the learnings of what's spoken about on field and how it can get away from you. So we'll grab the learnings on the reverse side of it from our end to know that we don't want to be in this situation ourselves.
You want the season to build to a climax, and it's certainly doing that from your perspective. We've had little glimpses inside the rooms. Firstly, yours after the Carlton win as you entered the confines of the room, and then we saw the return of the Wolf of Wall Street on Friday night, wasn't it?
Ah, good.
Yeah, look, it's something that we've sort of worked on for the last 3 or 4 years. It's just one of our little rituals internally that build this connection of belonging to certain elements that sit within your game style, a message that you want to create. And these are the reasons why you play footy together, and the emotional connection. And this is significant to our defensive side of our game, and something that we want to be really strong at. And it's just something we can get the buy-in towards and enjoy after the game.
Can I just one before you go, Goody? All year, people are pulling you apart. Oh, they can't do this, they can't do that. You finished second on the ladder after everything that's happened. That confidence, what sort of confidence? I know it's a pretty bland word, confidence, but what do you think that does for the group to say, hang on, we've had all these things happen and we're second on the ladder? What does that do for the group?
Oh, there's a lot of belief internally with our playing group and the way that we play. And the way we've been able to finish, that belief's growing bigger and bigger. And we've had a lot thrown at us both internally and externally, and we're sitting second on the ladder with the best defensive team in the competition. So we're confident in where we're at and where we sit, but we know that this is a new season and a new beginning, and all our challenges that we've been able to put to bed so far, we've got some bigger ones that sit in front of us right now.
I'm absolutely struck by the artwork in your house, Simon, as last time it was the pear. That is rather eye-catching behind you.
Yeah, we've made some progressions from the pear. We've moved into the barley version over here, so I'll continue to change up my artwork just for you, Jared and Robbo.
Good stuff. Simon, thanks for your time tonight. Good luck for what's to come.
Thanks, guys.
Simon Goodwin,
It's a great shot,
Premiership
wasn't
coach.
it? It's nice stuff.